With digital cameras and smartphones everywhere, someone is always snapping a picture. But whether you're selling your home or just wanting to make the most of the current space in your home, too many pictures could be a negative thing. Our KC Live home and real estate expert, Elizabeth Sady, is back to talk about why. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Okay, so get rid of the personal photos, or how many of them? Can you leave some?
No,
None.
everything.
Everything.
So, and I'm talking like wedding photos, those adorable baby photos, which I know, look very artistic, but all photos. So vacation photos if you're in them. If it's a vacation photo that you're not in, so it's a pretty sunset, you're welcome to leave those, but all personal photos.
So you like the landscape photos?
Yeah, those are good.
I mean,
as long as someone's not in them, I think that would be fine.
So why do you think depersonalizing is so important when you're selling your home?
So it distracts the buyer. I mean, just like when you go to a friend's house for a barbecue and you're waiting for the burgers to get put on the grill, I mean, you tend to naturally kind of walk through the house and look at their pictures and kind of, oh, look at you guys when you first got married, and oh, I like what wedding colors you had, or it distracts the buyer. And when someone's looking to purchase your home, you want them staring at the gorgeous crown molding you have, or how open a room is, not, how many kids you have or where you went on vacation.
And do those photos give buyers an impression of the home?
Yes, so you may not know. So it is, Michelle, it is so hard. And when I sold my house, it was a very emotional thing. So for some people, it's real easy to pack those photos up, and other people, it can be kind of a struggle, and I really push people to. But yes, you may not know if you leave even just a few photos up that you're giving off a bad impression. There's been times where I've been looking with young couples that are just married or getting ready to get married, have no kids at all, and they're trying to decide between a 3-bedroom and a 4-bedroom, and we'll go through a house and personal photos will be up on the wall. And they'll have 2 adorable little boys. You can tell maybe 3 or 4, 3 and 4 years old. And then you go to a room and you see a pink nursery. Well, you can only imagine that people can do the math. Like, why would a little boy that's 3 be in a nursery that's pink? Wait a minute, they have 3 kids. That's why they're moving. We're going to have to move then. Like, we don't want to buy this house. We'll just have to move when we have kids. Well, that's not the case at all. I mean, as you know, like, you can get, it takes a long time to
get caught up in that. Yes. Okay,
you
definitely.
don't get married and have the kids right away. It all takes a little time.
Okay, so are there some disadvantages to having lots of personal photos up, even if you're not selling your home?
Yes. Well, so I like to tell people too, if you're looking at a new way and you don't want to get out the paintbrushes and to maybe make over a room, a lot of times too, if you can reduce the number of pictures you have in a room, or I mean, there might be photos that you decorated your house 7 years ago with, and it might be fun to just pull them all off the wall and then move them to different rooms, and a lot of times it'll make the space feel bigger, fresher, and it'll give it a new feel to it by all means.
Okay, if you're selling your home and you want to move those pictures, and then there's like lots of empty spaces on shelves and on the walls, what do you replace them with?
So a lot of times, my stagers and I will suggest to take your digital camera or take your, your cell phone out and take a picture of a tree. So go to the park and take a picture of a tree, and just use that or a branch in a tree and get kind of creative with just some landscape photos. Or a lot of times I've seen where people have taken a leaf in a water and been really creative to find ways there to replace those photos. Another way would be to use mirrors. And the great thing about a mirror, so if you have a wall that has 3 or 4 small photos on it, you could replace it with a large mirror. And the great thing then is a buyer is seeing themselves in your home. And a lot of times too, that's the problem with the personal photos, is you feel like you're snooping around someone else's house. When their picture, you see their face everywhere, all you see is that this is that person's house. And you're either trying to figure out if you know them or not, but you feel like you're kind of intruding. And if there's no photos, all you're seeing is like, oh, I could make this kitchen work for me. I could make this couch work for
I love that you say a mirror helps you see yourself in the home. So lots of mirrors everywhere. You can imagine yourself in there as opposed to someone else's family.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Great advice as always.